This is my Get Me Out of Trouble kit for outdoor adventures, and because of that the emphasis here is on maximum practicality for minimum weight. And if that sounds interesting to you, then let's get into it. This kit is different to the Get Me Out of Trouble travel kit here. The travel kit is more city focused, whereas this one is more about outdoor specific challenges. Also, weight here is super important, as this was designed to be carried in a pack over longer distances such as hiking or backpacking. The travel kit here is 620 grams or 22 ounces, and that's fine when working out of fixed locations when traveling, but it's much heavier than I would want it to be for long distance carry when you notice every ounce. So this kit here needs to be much lighter whilst still being very effective. One final point before we go through the contents of the kit here, and that is there are no first aid elements to this kit. Outdoor activities in my view require a dedicated first aid kit that takes account of the risks involved and the fact that medical help might be hard to access. So I carry a separate outdoor first aid kit, the contents of which I will feature in a separate video. Okay, let's have a look inside the kit. And you'll see that everything in this kit is uncluttered and everything is pretty much visible. And that's because this is designed only for use when things go wrong. And in that sort of situation, it's not good to be rummaging through various hidden pockets, trying to find what you're looking for whilst trying to remember if it's there at all. When it comes to problems, this kit will help with fire, water, lighting, power, repair, navigation, and signaling. So let's start with fire. So fire is needed primarily for warmth and sometimes cooking, and depending where you are, it may even be needed for protection. There's no lighter or matches here in this kit despite their ease of use, and that's because they cannot be relied upon over time. Lighters can leak and matches can get damp. It would of course be simple to include these as a backup option, but that would add weight, bulk and clutter, all of which I'm keen to avoid here. So you need a reliable and relatively easy way to start a fire. This is the Nano Spark from Exotac. It weighs in at just 17 grams and it costs around £30. It's a little bit easier and quicker to use than a ferro rod and lighter than most. It benefits from one-handed operation. You have a flint wheel here, and it gives off a really good spark, and it's quite simple and easy to use. Inside here we have something called a quick light tab, and you get 5 of these included with the Nano Spark. We've got a rubber O-ring there, so that keeps anything in here completely waterproof, and the flint here is replaceable. It takes standard lighter flint. We've got a lanyard hole here for attaching it to a keychain or a lanyard, which we won't use in this kit because we're keeping the weight to a minimum. It's made in the USA from lightweight, high quality aluminium, and it's anodized for durability. So let's see this in use. Okay, let's get out some of that tinder, and we just fluff it up a little bit like that. Then we get the Nano Spark and off we go. It doesn't get any easier than that really, and that is a very quick way of starting a fire. The quick light tabs are a great thing for getting a fire started, but they'll only burn for a few seconds, and that might not be enough if the materials you are trying to light are damp or hard to ignite, and that can be really disheartening if you burn through the small amount of tinder you've got and still can't get a fire going. And that's why in this kit I've included this. This is called Live Fire, and here we have a tin which contains flammable material. It's effectively a fabric material soaked in wax, and it weighs just 25 grams. It only costs around about £9, and this will buy you all the time you need to get a fire started. It's easy to ignite and it burns for a long time. So if I remove this lid completely, it will burn for 30 minutes. And with the lid on, you can control the flame and you can reduce it to what they call a candle flame, and then it will burn for hours at a time. Another good thing about this is that you can put the flame out and relight it, and you can do that again and again. It's also 100% waterproof and will light even after being submerged in water for long periods of time. Okay, let's see it in action. So again, a bit like the other tinder, you just need to disrupt the surface a bit. You can do that with a fingernail or a knife just to create a little bit of fluff. That means it will catch a spark more easily, like that. Then you get something like the nano spark here, and then you've got a flame, and this will start to burn now. And if it's left like this with the lid off, it will cover the entire surface area, creating a large and very hot flame. If you leave it like this with the lid partially closed, you now have a flame that will last for hours at a time, and it takes the worry out of trying to get a fire started if you are running out of traditional tinder. So this is an essential addition to this kit, bearing in mind how important it is to get a fire going. So there you are, just close the lid, fire goes out, and it can be relit at any time. And as always, if you want to know more about any of the items featured, I'll have links to everything in the description below. So I wanted to find a backup knife for use in an emergency with just the essential features that was very lightweight. And this is it. This is the Victorinox Walker, and it weighs just 44 grams, so extremely light. It only costs £17 and it does just what you need it to do. So first and foremost, it has a knife, so think about maybe creating a feather stick or wood shavings or for cutting up food. And this is a 91mm Victorinox, so this knife is a slip joint, non-lock-in and under 3 inches, so this is legal to carry in the UK. Then we have this tool. This is the small but very capable Victorinox saw for cutting up small lengths of wood and essential for building a fire. Then we have one of my favourite Victorinox tools. It's this one, and this is the combination tool. So this tool is a can opener that could be useful in the outdoors if you've got a can, no way of opening it. And then you've also got a bottle opener. You've got a screwdriver here and also a Phillips screwdriver, and this also doubles up as a pry bar. This slot here is a wire stripper, which, as you might know if you've seen some of my other videos, happens to be a perfect striking surface for one of these. This is a mini ferro rod that replaces the toothpick in this knife, and it simply slots in there like that. And this is our backup fire lighting solution, adding only 2 grams to the overall weight of this kit. Let's have a quick look at this mini ferro rod in action. So I've got here some more of the quick light tabs here. Don't need all of that, so I'm just going to chop a little bit off there. Then I'm going to fluff it up to make it more receptive to a spark. Okay, then I'm going to get out the combination tool here and the miniature ferro rod. And I'm going to use the wire stripper here and pull back on the ferro rod, and there we go. We have another backup way of starting a fire. And finally, the knife has tweezers in the scales here, which are genuinely useful. Next, we need to consider hydration. Let's say you have run out of drinking water, maybe because you simply didn't bring enough, or perhaps it leaked, or you couldn't make it to your destination and ran out and you're having to stop overnight and you are short of water. And this solution here is for when water is available but not safe to drink. So stream water or pools of rainwater, for example. Now, there are plenty of filters on the market for this purpose, but I've never seen one as small as this one. This weighs just 16 grams, so it is super lightweight, and it cost me in the UK £26, which is a lot, but I have seen it in America for £18. It is a 3-stage water filter, which according to the maker provides the most robust filtration of any straw style filter. And you simply undo the end here, put that in your water source, pull off the top, and now you've got a straw. You drink through there and you suck water up through the base. And it protects you from bacteria, chemicals, heavy metals and other contaminants. And large sediment is blocked with a cotton pre-filter membrane, and that increases the longevity of the main internal filter. Chemicals and heavy metals are absorbed by the activated carbon filter in here, which removes lead, iron, cadmium, nickel, chromium and zinc, along with chlorine, pesticides, herbicides and even diesel fuel. And once the pre-filter and activated carbon filters have reached their life expectancy of 50 gallons, they can simply be replaced with the extra end cap filter, which is included when you buy this. Finally, the ultra filtration hollow fiber technology that makes up the rest of this tube removes 99.999% of bacteria. That's things like E. coli or say cryptosporidium. And there's no shelf life to this filter, which again makes it perfect for this kit. Next, we come to lighting. Now, if you're delayed, injured or lost, or simply overestimated your ground coverage, the last thing you want is to find yourself without any lighting when trekking at night or holed up at night. And clearly, if the terrain is hazardous, like trying to get down steep rocky terrain, then that could become extremely dangerous. So it's a good idea to carry a flashlight or a torch. Ideally, this needs to be a headlight, so it points where you look and leaves your hands free. It needs to have a good runtime and a good beam, and it has to be very lightweight to make it into this kit. Now, my go-to headlamp that ticks all the boxes, in the past at least, has been this. This is the NU25 and it features in this, which is my travel kit. It's a firm favourite of the ultralight hiking community, who often do what I've done here with this one, and that is to replace the head strap with shock cord to reduce weight and bulk. But I've now found something that's even better. Meet the new Nitecore NU25, and at the time of filming this has just become available, and because I've been a fan of the NU25 for some years, it's exciting for me to see this new version. This weighs 45 grams, including the bracket and the headband, for what Nitecore call the ultralight version, which is the one I've got here. And it looks like Nitecore have been paying attention, because this new version uses shock cord like the ones we've been modifying, and that keeps the weight and bulk to an absolute minimum. So that is really good to see. This new version costs £37 and actually is 10 grams heavier than my old modified NU25, but that 10 grams in this case is very acceptable when you see the new features they've crammed in here. So let's have a quick look at them side by side, and you can see they are very different. The new NU25 has two primary beams, unlike the original, which has just one. One of these is a floodlight and one is a spotlight, and combined they provide 400 lumens of output, which is a little bit more than before, with a maximum throw of 64 meters. It also has an ultralight mode of 6 lumens, and that's really useful if you find yourself on low power or need light all night long, because at this level the light will run for 45 hours on a single charge. We also have dual red LEDs here to preserve your night vision, again really important in this use case. And there are 4 brightness levels here, 3 light sources, so you've got the red, the flood and the spot, and there are various SOS and beacon modes. It now has USB-C charging, which is great to see. The original was micro USB, and it has a 650 milliamp hour battery, which is a bit bigger than before. Another really nice feature is battery level indication. So you simply push on there. We've got 4 blue lights here, and that shows that the battery is fully charged, and that's extremely important when you are using this in challenging situations. It has 2 buttons here, and that makes it easy to use, and you also have a lockout mode here so it doesn't accidentally activate in the pouch here. In terms of water resistance, it's IPX6, so good in all types of weather and rain, but avoid submersion. And it's made from lightweight polycarbonate. And if you're into the detail and you want to see the power output and the various runtimes, then just pause this chart here. So the new Nitecore NU25, a huge upgrade on the old NU25, which has long been my favourite lightweight headlamp. Okay, next we need to consider backup power, and this is primarily aimed at keeping your phone alive for communication and navigation. The dilemma is power banks are usually quite heavy, so I've been on a mission to find the lightest and most compact power bank on the market with a minimum capacity of 5,000 milliamp hours, which is enough to charge most phones at least once. And this is what I've found. And this is my solution, the F21i here combined with a 21700 battery, and these go together and weigh 99 grams and cost £48 for the two. The F21i is a fast charging power system specifically for use with Nitecore's bespoke 21700 5000 milliamp hour battery, and it simply sits on top of the battery like that, and it's held in place with this elastic strap. The F21 here can be used as a battery charger when connected to an external power source, and we've got blue lights on here to show the charging status. And something like an 18-watt USB-C can fast charge this battery really quickly, and there's actually a white light that comes on when this is fast charging. More interestingly though, the F21 can be used to convert this 21700 battery into a power bank, and you can even check the battery level by tapping on the top there, and there's a touch sensor and it shows the battery level. So we have here a 5000 milliamp hour power bank which is capable of fast charging and being fast charged, and it's not much bigger or bulkier or heavier than a single 21700 battery. So the perfect power bank for this kit. Do let me know in the comments if you know of a lighter or more compact option with this capacity. Now, a power bank needs a charging cable that can support all the devices carried, and regular viewers of the channel won't be surprised to see the InCharge X here from Rolling Square, weighing in at just 24 grams and coming in at around about £25. And this compact keyring size device is effectively 6 cables in one, supporting fast charging. You have USB-A and USB-C on the input, and then on the output you've got Lightning. There's also a micro USB built in the end here, and then you've got USB-C as well. So perfect for charging your mobile, and also in this case the NU25 headlight. And you don't get 6 cables in a more compact or lightweight form factor. If things need fixing or adapting, then duct tape and cord can help in many different ways, and Exotac know this and have a great lightweight compact field repair kit which they call Rip Spool. This weighs in at 52 grams and costs around £35 and consists of 60 feet of 30-pound braided line and 50 inches of heavy duty repair tape. Also, if you unscrew this here, you have a number 16 sail needle which can double as an awl. If you turn it round like that, you now can put pressure on that to pierce something for sewing or stitching, for example. There's also a little bit of extra space in here, and I've just added a safety pin. Think of this in terms of patching, repairing, binding, stitching, holding and fixing, and all in all a great addition to this kit. When it comes to navigation, a basic compass can be a lifesaver, and so it makes sense to include one in this kit. And this is from the well-respected Sunto brand and is very compact and weighs only 5 grams. costing £16. This is what you'll need when your phone navigation is no longer an option. The primary use for a small compass like this is to help you understand which way is up, and by that I mean north, and also to ensure you can keep walking in the right direction by identifying some visual reference point in the distance and then heading for that, and then hopefully you will keep in a straight line in the right direction. Do though be careful not to bring the compass close to any electronic equipment or metal elements when taking a reading, or things can go wrong very quickly. This one will clip to clothing or a watch strap and has a high quality sapphire bearing needle and liquid filled capsule for stable operation. There are also luminous markings on here, and this thing is made in Finland. If you're thinking of purchasing one, be sure to pick the right one, because there are two types. One will work in the northern hemisphere and one in the southern hemisphere. Attracting attention to your location if you are lost or immobile is also something to factor in, and a loud whistle like this one is a great option. This one is the Acme Tornado and is one of the loudest in the world. It weighs just 4 grams and costs around £5. It's impossible to properly demonstrate the loudness on a video, but it sounds like this.
A few moments later.
Remind me not to do that again. And of course, there is nothing to go wrong here. Another way to draw attention to your location over long distances, if you have sunlight available, is to use a signalling mirror like this one. And this is the only thing I've got tucked away out of sight. I keep it in the polythene sleeve to stop it getting scratched. This is the Featherlight signal mirror from the Sun Company, and it weighs just 8 grams and costs £6. So it takes up virtually no space or weight, and on a clear day it can be seen from up to 10 to 15 miles away. This one has a sighting hole in the middle there, although that's not essential, and there are loads of YouTube videos explaining how best to use one of these. And let's not forget, a mirror can be useful in its own right. Here we have a pen and paper for taking notes or leaving notes, and the best pen in my view for this application is a Sharpie, and that's because it will write on anything. It's very reliable and it weighs only 9 grams and it actually costs just £1. The notepad here is a credit card sized notepad from Write in the Rain, which means that the paper is waterproof, so this will still be usable in the rain. And these cost around £5 and also weigh 9 grams. Now here we have a tick remover, although depending on your location it might not be necessary for you. The weight here though is just 2 grams and it only costs around £5, and as you can see it takes up virtually no space. Now I hate ticks, and if left in the skin there's a danger of contracting Lyme disease, which is nasty, debilitating and can last for years. And attempting to remove a tick with your fingers or tweezers risks squeezing them or leaving the head behind, which you really don't want to do. A tool like this is designed for the job and well worth carrying if the risk is there, like it is here in the UK. This one also has the benefit of including a magnifying glass in here, and that will help me read my phone if I lose my glasses, and for me that could be a lifesaver. With virtually no weight at 4 grams and almost no cost and very little space needed, I've included a few very useful tie wraps for fixing and fastening, which can be indispensable when needed. And to keep them together, I've applied a length of heat shrink tubing, otherwise they have a habit of wandering off. And then finally, I've included a very small tube of super glue. This is just 2 grams, costs around £2. The pouch here is a firm favourite of mine. It's the Maxpedition Mini, and it's tough, well made, lightweight at 92 grams, not too expensive at £26. It opens fully and flat, which is really important, so you can see everything at a glance, and it avoids the use of too many pockets, which just hides what you have and slows access. And these elasticated loops here allow you to carefully position everything where you want it and neatly holds the items in place. We've got YKK zips on here, which is the best you could hope for. We've got a Velcro patch area here, a pouch on the front, PAL's webbing, and also a grab handle, which is really good to see. And when putting this kit together, I did look at alternatives, but in the end, I couldn't find anything more suitable. So a great emergency outdoor kit, but you'll only ever find it useful if you've got it with you, and you'll only have it with you if it's not too heavy. And so the total combined weight of everything here is important. So we'll get it on the scales. And as you can see, it's well under 500 grams, which I think is a great achievement, all things considered. And it does actually feel really light in the hand. And if you're interested, the total cost of everything in here is... If you want to see more kits like this, including my travel kit, which was the inspiration for this outdoor version, then just click on this playlist here. And there you have it. I hope that's been useful. Thank you as always for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.